In this video, we're going to be going through a step-by-step tutorial of how to set up your Google Sheets to be able to run with Python and run Python scripts to update your Google Sheets, which is what I do for a lot of my investing spreadsheets. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you don't know, my name is Frank Mularcik, and my YouTube channel is focused on talking about investing, the stock market, personal finance, but I also enjoy making spreadsheets because that just helps me track my investments. And one of the things I do to help me make my spreadsheets even better is to use some Python scripts to automate those a little bit. And there's some specific steps you got to go through in order to set all that up. So that's what I'm going to be going over today. I made a video about this a few months ago, but some of the steps have changed a little bit. So I wanted to make a little bit of an update and kind of walk you guys through what exactly you need to do and some of the different things you can do with this setup. So the first thing we're going to do is to set up our APIs with the Google Sheets and Google Drive in order to allow the Google Sheet to accept input basically from a Python script. So you want to go to console.developers.google.com when you're logged into whatever Google account you want to be using. And then you can go over here to the right and click Create Project, or you can, if you already have projects in here, you can select from the drop down and then click New Project here. So then you just want to give it a name, so we'll say Python Test, and then you go create that. And then it's going to load for a second. Now it's all loaded up, so you're going to want to enable the Google Drive and Google Sheets APIs. So you want to click here, Enable APIs, and then you can just search Sheets. Then it'll pop up the Google Sheets API, and you can click Enable. And then once that's done, you can click here in the search and type Drive, and then it'll pop up with the Google Drive API, and you can go ahead and enable that one as well. Alright, so now we have both of these enabled. So what we want to do is click back here and then go to your dashboard. And we're still on this Python test project. What you want to do is go over here to the left and create credentials. So now you have this project where you can use these APIs, but you need some credentials for your Python script to use so that basically the API knows that you are authorized to use this. So click create credentials here, and then you want to create a service account, and then just give it a name. We'll just say Google Sheets, and create. And then you can specify the access level. So what I'm going to do is go to basic here and then choose editor. That way this API basically can edit your Google Sheets, but it's not going to be able to do more like administrative roles. So you can change that up if you need to. Then I'm not going to grant any other users access to that either. Alright, so the next thing you're going to need to do is create an actual key that you can use. So just click on the service account here at the bottom, and then you're going to want to go to keys here and then add a key, create new key, and then make sure you have JSON selected, and then just create that, and it will download that key to your computer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a different folder real quick and just rename it. Alright, so once you create that key and get that file downloaded, there's really nothing else you need to do in here. So then just in some spreadsheet, I'm going to rename this like Python Test. And what you have to do is you have to share this spreadsheet with the email that is listed in that JSON file that you downloaded. So what you need to do is open that JSON file up. And once you open it up, you just want to look here at the client email. It's going to be like some Google Sheets at something.gservice account. So this is just my personalized one for my account. So just copy this, and then you can close this out, and then you just need to share it with that email, and just click send there. And then it'll share that with that email, and you'll be able to access this with your Python file. So then you're going to want to start working on some sort of script, and this is the basic thing you're going to need every time. So you need to use this OAuth2 client package and import the service account credentials, and import Gspread as well. So this is the package to basically authorize your script, and then Gspread is just the package to actually be able to access your Google Sheet. So this is just standard code, and then this JSON file, this was from my previous JSON file, so this one's a little bit different. So it's called Python Sheets API key.json, as you can see right over here. So I'm just putting the name of that in there. So then we need to make a variable to represent our specific spreadsheet that we want to access. So I'll just call this Python_test, because that's what we called our spreadsheet. And we'll do client.open, and then the name of our spreadsheet, which was Python test, and then we'll do .sheet1. So that's basically going to access the first sheet right here. And what you can do actually is, if you have multiple worksheets, you can add, if we say we want to add one here called like test, and if we want to access the test worksheet, for example, what we can do is, instead of doing sheet 1, we can do worksheet, and then pass the name of that worksheet, so test. So let's make actually 2 variables here. So maybe one for Python_test equals client.open, and then Python test. And then we'll just do sheet 1, and then this one will be Python test 1, and that'll be for the test worksheet. This will be to show that we can access both of those. So then, just to write values to your spreadsheet, basically what you do is you just say, for example, if we want to do it in the sheet 1, we'll do Python_test.update_cell, and then you pass the row, and then the column, and then whatever you want to put in there. So I'll just put it in the first row, in the first column, and then I'll put the classic hello world in there. And then when we run this, we should get something that says hello world in sheet 1 right here. So let's try that out. And we'll run that. It's running, looks like it. And let's see, yeah, it put hello world right here. And then if we want to put that in this sheet, we'll go here, and instead of doing Python test, we'll do Python test 1, and then we'll run that again. And in the test worksheet, we get hello world. And then another thing I want to show you guys is how to basically read values in your worksheet. So if you have a bunch of values that say hi, 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 and you want to see when there's a row that doesn't have a value in it, this is what I do in some of my scripts. So you can create a loop basically and just check each row, and then if that row has a value in it, then you just move on, and if it doesn't have a value in it, then you get out of that loop and write a value to it. So that's what we're going to do here. So let's get rid of this. We'll just comment that out. And then we're in the sheet 1. So we'll do Python_test .cell, and then we'll pass the row and the column. So we'll say I, 1, because we're going to change that every time through the loop, and then .value. So that'll give us the value of that cell. And then we're just going to put that in a while loop. So we're going to say, while this value is not equal to just the empty parentheses, then we're just going to say that I equals I plus 1. And we're going to need to initialize I. So we'll start it at 1, basically. So the first time through the loop, it's going to check the first row and the first column and say, is that value, is there a value there? And if there is, if there is a value there, yeah, then it's going to go into this loop and add 1 to the I value, and then the next time through the loop, it's going to check the next row down. And then when there is a row that has no value, it's not going to go through this loop, so it's just going to be that I value. So then what we can do is we can say Python_test.update_cell, and we want it to be in row I, column 1, and then we'll say goodbye. So let's try that out and see what we get. And it looks like I forgot the colon here for my while loop. And then we will try that out again and see what happens. And see right here in the row that did not have anything, that was next down, we got it to say goodbye. The one other thing I do want to mention is Google has some limits on their APIs, so it's basically 100 requests per 100 seconds. So you can read 100 values per 100 seconds, or you can write 100 values per 100 seconds, but no more than that. So what we're going to do to illustrate that is basically just copy this high down, let's say at least 100 rows, and then we're just going to basically run this same script right here and see what happens. So it's basically going to try to read these values for like 100 times, and it's going to happen in a matter of a few seconds. So we're going to run that and see what happens here. Alright, so you can see when we ran this, basically it did not update our new value to goodbye at the very end. And then what happened here is it gave us an error here, and it basically says for the error, quota exceeded for quota metric, read requests and limit read requests per minute per user. So basically it's saying we tried to read too many times for what the actual limit is. So that's one thing you need to be careful of. And one thing I do is I normally in these I just do time.sleep 1. So every time it goes through the loop, it waits 1 second. So that definitely slows down some of your scripts, but you're going to have to do that if you have some pretty robust scripts that are trying to run on, larger sheets like I do some of the time. So that's what I've found works for me. So that's what you just have to do. Oh, also I forgot to mention, if you're going to use this time.sleep, you have to make sure you import time as well, so that will work. And then also, if you just had some limit where your quota was reached, then you need to make sure you wait a good minute or two so that sort of 100 seconds window can be cleared, and you're sort of with a new 100 seconds that is completely clear. So I think it's been long enough, so we're going to run that again and see if it works this time. So it's probably going to take a little bit to run, but I will check back when it's done and show you the result. Alright, so the script just finished running, and you can see there is no errors thanks to our time.sleep right there. And then if we go to our sheet, you can see it put the goodbye in there that we intended it to put. So I hope this video was helpful and allowed you guys to understand how to go through this process if you're looking to do that, and just give you a better understanding of how I'm using these different methods to update my spreadsheet and track my investments. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you want to see some other videos from me, I'll leave some right over here. You can check them out, and I would really appreciate that. And I will see you guys in the next one.